Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's approximately 3 minutes past 8 on Monday, the 15th of September, 2025, wherever 2025 is. You know what I mean? Can't get my head around it. BC, AD, AFI. What the fuck are we? AFI and phone for? It's some point. And that point is the here and now. Okay, that's all that matters. You're here and it's now. And it's Matt Taylor TV and it's the 8 o'clock show. Welcome, Wallace and Tube England. No, not Tube England. Goodness gracious me. I hope everyone's had a good holiday. I certainly did. Well done for everyone going up to London on Saturday. A great news. Yes, so hello Wallace and hello Justin. Hope everyone's well. Now, listen up everyone, listen up. What we're going to talk about tonight is Keir Starmer. I was going to say Sir Keir Starmer, but we all know the common denominator with the sirs, don't we? Yeah, and we'll get to that. I liked what he had to say about Peter Mandelson. Had I known then what I know now? And I think that is the biggest lie we're hearing from our politicians. Had I known then what I know now? I contend that they knew very well what's going on when they give these people a job. In fact, the very reason they are given these jobs is because of their particular perversions. And I think that's the secret at the heart of politics today. You know, words to the effect, I would never have employed him if I had known. Well, I beg to differ. I think you would have employed him because you knew. But anyway, that was something we'll get into. I loved what Trevor Phillips said, making a point that both Keir Starmer and Kemi Baddock couldn't have ever mustered the same numbers to march on London than Tommy Robinson mustered. And that's something to applaud. So I take my hat off for Tommy Robinson for that. He's doing things that no other politician has done. And that is worthy of attention. Next thing I want to talk about is some of you may be familiar with Andrew Johnson, expert extraordinaire on a variety of subjects, especially space, often featured on Rich Planet TV. Well, we're in negotiations to have Andrew Johnson on the show, and it's likely he will come. Now, this is great news, but I'm going to tell you now, I cannot be having the likes of RB, WH and Pip disrupting the conversation. It just ain't going to fucking happen. I mean, this is what's going on in the chat at the moment. If that kind of talk is happening when Andrew Johnson is on discussing space, the universe and everything within it, you're going. And this comes on to another thing I want to discuss. And it's my personal opinion. Okay, we're all loud personal opinions, right? I personally believe Danny West is a fake persona with a fake backstory, just as the same way James Hind is alleged to be a fake person. Well, we all know James Hind is a fake persona, but he is meant to have a fake backstory, which I don't actually believe. So whether I'm believing what I'm saying, it's up to interpretation. But listen, this is the message I'm putting out. Danny Jones, Lyndon Ward, no, I'm getting completely confused. I don't know what's wrong with me. Danny West is a fake persona with a fake backstory, and the likes of RB, WH and Pip are all part of PNW. Okay, I've said it. I've got it off my chest. I've put it out there. And so all I want to demonstrate and get across to you in the clearest possible terms is that when Andrew Johnson comes on, I will not tolerate PNW anywhere near my channel. And that means RB, WH, Pip, and the rest will be banned forthwith. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope you can get your tiny brains around my syllables. And I'm not talking about my testicles. Okay? When Andrew Johnson comes on, we will have no funny business, no crap in the chat. Just saying. And another thing made me think, I saw this picture of Captain Kirk's wife crying over his coffin. And I looked at the coffin. I thought, that is a nice coffin. That is plush as fuck. And then it made me think, why on earth do the dead need plush as fuck coffins? It don't make sense. And I'm not laughing at the dead. I'm just laughing at the fact, why on earth do the dead need such plush interior if you're not a creature of the night, i.e. a vampire? I get it, if you're a vampire, then a plush interior makes sense. But otherwise, what a waste. And it's quite interesting because I had this thought and I was trying to think up an appropriate joke, you know, for my stand-up comedy. And I still haven't like thought up anything funny yet. But what I did laugh at was that over the weekend, I saw a headline, Ed Miliband, funerals should comply with net zero. A part of his proposals are to introduce eco-friendly coffins. So maybe he agrees. You know, too much resources are going into these plush luxury coffins, and they're quite frankly, you know, ruining the world. But anyway, that's a joke I'm going to have to work on. And last but not least, the music of the show will be Will Black. Will Black. Christine, Dangerously Close, will be finishing the show playing Will Black, Dangerously Close. And absolutely awesome track. If you haven't heard Will Black, I suggest you check out willblack.net and you will love it. You will love it. Okay, over to the chat. Thanks everyone. We got Wallace talking about Kaylee, as they always do. Kaylee seems to be their subject, their chosen subject. I imagine either any members of the PNW were to go on to Mastermind, their chosen subject would be Kaylee Inav. You know, oh yes, my expert field of expertise is lies about Kaylee. So, Danny West in the chat. I don't know whether it's the real Danny West. Let me check, because I do understand. Blah 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 blah. I like to say blah 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 blah. So, 11 subscribers, 2 videos. Australia joined 21st of August 2025. One day I'm going to say fuck it and let all my demons out to play. Well, that, you know, there's an admission that he's a demon. At Danny West 16. Oh, I don't know who this is, but I do believe all these entities that go into Kaylee's are all members of PNW, because in my opinion they're the only fanatics out there. So listen, by the time Andrew Johnson comes in, I'm going to do a major cull, and I'm warning you now, the likes of RB, WH, Pip and DW, they will be culled. So I'm giving you fair warning now. Don't get comfortable. Okay, don't get comfortable, because you're not going to be here. Yeah, I find your behaviour absolutely intolerable, immature, infantile, and unbecoming of decent people. Talking about decent people, lovely turnout in London on the weekend. Regrettably, I didn't see anything live. There was a major incident, road traffic incident, in which a pedestrian sadly lost his life, and the A27 between Falmer and Lewis was closed. That had a knock-on effect of increased traffic along the coast, no traffic on the A27, and then going further, increased traffic. It just so happened that was the day I took my son out to Five Guys. Lovely. It was an experience. At least we ticked the bucket list box. Five Guys, very nice. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Hanging out with Lewis. And then, of course, had to get back. It took me considerably longer to get back than it usually would on a Saturday afternoon. So I spent most of my time when I was hoping to watch the Million March in London. I was instead stuck in traffic, and I was listening to Ian Brown, so it wasn't that bad. But still, being stuck in traffic isn't the best. But I did manage to make it up to my girlfriends on Saturday, so that was all nice. But yeah, all I did catch was Tommy Robinson's chat, and it's ironic, isn't it? You could plan everything, but it's the things you least expect scupper the most perfect plans. And of course, poor Tommy losing his voice, nearly scuppered it, but luckily Tommy soldiered through and got out the other end. Like I said, there's loads more I need to watch, loads more I need to catch up with. Like my biggest question is, well, 2 really, well maybe 3. Oh, there's always a 4th. And imagine if you've got 1, 2, and 3, 4. There's a 5, 6, 7, 8. Most probably I've got 10 questions I'd like to ask. But the first one is, did Brian Hurl make it onto the stage? I suspect he did. Yeah, must have. Did Brian Hurl and Taffy turn up? And I hope everyone kept them from going down the back alley. And yeah, so did Taffy even turn up? Did everyone who said they would turn up, turned up? So yeah. Let's open up. Let's open it up and see what people are up to. I see Danny West in the chat. I mean, look, Danny West, PNW, as far as I'm concerned. I don't believe a thing that comes out of these people's mouths now. Because, you know, I've wised up to it. I've wised up to it, you know. I see through the bullshit. I got my see through the bullshit glasses on. And quite frankly, it sees through the bullshit. And, I mean, to be fair, I've been smelling bullshit ever since I first read that name, Danny West. God, he's like a battery, isn't he? He's like a Duracell, never stops. And that reminds me of, you know, reminding me of a certain James Hind. And, you know, it's just like James Hind all over again. What's PNW, you Walter Mitty, as if, I got the old bullshit glasses on, and it's all about gaslighting. But anyway, just remember, we're all allowed our own opinions, okay? Now, the death of Captain Kirk has given us that. Do you know, in the same way Jesus died for our sins, Captain Kirk died for our freedom of speech. So I don't want anyone, you know, getting agitated and, you know, cleaning out their Smith & Wesson rifles from the mantelpiece to come and, you know, shoot me. We're all allowed our freedom of speech. We're all allowed our opinions. You know, 1 million plus people have marched on London to verify that. So I hope no one gets any ideas, okay? I personally think they're all a bunch of PNW. They're all members of PNW. And nothing is going to convince me otherwise. Let's move on. I would never have employed him if I knew. Who said that? Maybe not word for word, but it could be Sir Keir Starmer. I would never have employed him if I knew. And he's talking about Peter Mandelson. And I think that is the reoccurring lie at the centre of our politics. Oh, if I'd known he was a paedophile, I would never have employed him. Liar! Liar, liar, your pants are on fire. You've employed him because he's a pedo. And that's what's happening. And that's what we have to fight against now. And I think we are winning that fight. Saturday proved we're on the right side of history. Danny the Pest says, you make claims you cannot prove, Matt. I make claims because I know I'm right. You are 100% a Walt, a dreamer and a fantasist. Well, first of all, I'm impressed that you managed to spell dreamer and fantasist. You get some brownie points for that. But secondly, mate, PNW are completely insane. And so, you know, I don't mean to kind of like denigrate you in any way, shape or form, even though you like to denigrate me in every way, shape and form. But whatever you say is insanity. Compre? Whatever you have to say is insane. You are mentally away with the fairies. So it don't matter what you think because you're a madman. You're a figment of someone's imagination. And so while I thank you for taking the time to comment, I do have to put you on notice that when Andrew Johnson appears on my show, you and the rest of PNW are banished. In fact, I may even banish you today. Here we go, back to Danny Pest. He's a Duracell. Listen, don't mock me for a bit of bad grammar, Walt. You have far more things wrong with you. What a fucking dick. Honestly, if you weren't so horrible to vulnerable women, I would just laugh and laugh and laugh. But you have been revealed as the worst offender. Yes, you are officially the worst offender. And if your true identity was known and your position within PNW was exposed, you would be arrested and you would be convicted of stalking and harassing. And you may well be serving the same time as Alex Belfield, because you are a really nasty individual. And I don't want you anywhere near me or my guests. Because I tell you, when Andrew Johnson comes on, I'm not having any of this shit. Any of this diatribe crap that comes from you lot. You are sad, insane individuals. And that's your problem, not mine. Quite frankly. That's your problem, not mine. Oh, please. Right. I do believe it's time to get rid of Danny West. Yeah, baby. Honestly, I cannot be putting up with that complete and utter diatribe of shite. The guy is fucking do-dally. Honestly. And when yes, bye Danny. Yes, I'm lining up some really great conversationalists for your entertainment and education. You understand that? I deliver on my promises. I've always said Matt Taylor TV is here to entertain and educate. And when Andrew Johnson comes on, an expert in space, universe, and everything therein, you will be educated to a level you've never been educated before. This man's knowledge is second to none. I will be giving you a treat unlike any treat you've ever had on YouTube. And I'm doing this free of charge to you. The only thing I insist upon is a clean, mature, friendly, healthy chat room. And so I'm giving you fair warning. There's going to be a bloodbath. P&W are not welcome. First to go, Danny West, not coming back. He's not coming back because life's too short to put up with insanity. I just wanted to make that clear. And listen, RB is next. WH is next. Pip is next. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And the when will be a time of my choosing. But it'll be long before Andrew Johnson comes on. Thank you, Justin. Justin says, Matt is a seasoned YouTuber. And that's true. That's bloody true. I've been at this game far longer than most people. I've seen it. I've been there and I've done it. I've been around the block and then some. Everyone knows about MattTaylorTV.
MattTaylorTV. Everyone knows MattTaylorTV. Like everyone knows the Dream Team. Like everyone knows Esau. Like everyone knows fucking Bleeding Heart. Yeah, we all know each other in our little corner of YouTube world.
That's right, Captain Brian. We all know each other in our little corner of YouTube. So listen, it's important for me to have intelligent conversation. That's all has always been a part of my channel. To have people on in which we can have intelligent, mature, flowing conversation that entertains and educates. And that is being lined up for you. Andrew Johnson will be coming on the show. And I'm really excited about it. But I need to make sure the bad apples are thrown away. And P&W are the bad apples. If you don't know who the P&Ws are, hard luck. I'm not going to explain it to you. At some point, you have to do your own research. You can't rely on people like myself to spoon feed you everything. Yes, thank you. Looking forward to the Andrew Johnson interview. Absolutely. And what I'm looking forward to is if we have a good conversation, if it goes well, we can have Andrew on more often. Because one of the things I'd like to discuss with him is that life has been found on Mars. And of course, all this news has been put on the back burner after the Captain Kirk assassination. Life has been found on Mars, be it microbial, but it's still there. That's an amazing announcement that I am blown away. That's been put back on the back burners of the news. So that's something I'd like to discuss with Andrew Johnson. That life has been found on Mars. And of course, the big subject is the 3I Atlas. 3I means it's the third interstellar object coming into our neighborhood, so to speak. And apparently it's exhibiting all the attributes of a alien-made structure. Fascinating. And there's no one better to discuss this with than Andrew Johnson. So if ever there's a reason to like, subscribe, is the fact that Andrew Johnson will be coming on to MattTaylorTV for some in-depth, intelligent conversation. And listen, once in a while, we all need a bit of in-depth, intelligent conversation rather than this rubbish, this absolutely infantile crap fest shit that we get from the P&W lot. Thank you, Justin. You're always so kind, Justin. It's life, Matt, but not as we know it. Amazing, isn't it? And I think this 3I Atlas sums that up. There's something about it that we have just no understanding about or comprehension about. It's alien in every sense of the word. It's coming from a part of space that is older than we could ever imagine. And it's exhibiting properties that are so alien to us we cannot get our heads around. And it's causing a stir in the scientific community, especially NASA. And so, of course, one of the things I'd like to discuss with Andrew Johnson is the arrival of aliens. And there's no, like I said, there's no one better to discuss that with than Andrew Johnson. But anyway, does anyone know if Brian Hearn and Taffy met up? Did they manage to shake hands? and, you know, give each other a... Let's move on. Have they made up? That's what I'm trying to say. Did they go down the back alley and do what men do when no one else is looking? Look, I'll have to tell myself off when Andrew Johnson comes in, because I no way must I be lewd and rude in front of Andrew Johnson. Okay? And you lot have got to behave. When I say you lot, it's the P&W. In fact, fair dues, I'm gonna slaughter you off anyway. I'm gonna make sure you lot aren't about. So, Trevor Phillips. Yeah, I like a bit of Trevor Phillips. I like what he said, making the point that both Sir Keir Starmer and Kemi Badon, or Badok, how do you pronounce her name? Kemi, Badenoch. They couldn't muster the numbers that Tommy mustered on Saturday. Yeah, of course, there's always going to be disputes over how many. And with hindsight, I imagine it was a money well spent on getting that helicopter up there to get those panoramic views. I didn't understand why he couldn't get it done with drones, but hey, you know, perhaps there was a no drone thing going on. Brian Hurler's been on Idilku Kin Buster's panel all evening. All right, so that's it. Okay, so I suppose I better tune in and find out. Oh yes, and thank you for sending that clip about Shagger. I didn't get to watch it because I was watching the end of The Girlfriend. Yes, I was watching the end of The Girlfriend on Amazon Prime. Very good ending. Didn't see that coming. So yeah, nice. What else is there? Wasted on the Dead. That was a plush coffin for Captain Kirk. But really, you know, do we need that luxury in a coffin? Ed Miliband doesn't think so. Ed Miliband, he's all for introducing, or rather enforcing, eco-friendly coffins. No more of that plush interior. Fuck that. No. Just wood and painted white, mate. You know what I mean? Shagger dare not show his face. I know. But we've seen his face, haven't we? I've actually got a picture of Shagger. Good looking bloke, to be fair. But yeah, there's a lot of people who are just adverse to showing their face. YouTube is a dangerous place. Damn right it is. Damn right it is. And only the bravest can survive. You know, I've seen the casualties firsthand. Me, I'm cool with it. You know, I'm cool with it, man. Listen, when you pass the military police training, it be at phase 2 or phase 1, you are a step above the civilian. And I mean that literally. I remember after passing phase 1 training, how I went back on my leave, and you do walk with your head held high and your shoulders back, thinking, I've achieved something that most of Civvy Street could never achieve. And so I think my experience in the army has served me well to be a YouTuber. That's why Fanny Pest is terrified to show his face. I know. He is a made-up persona. His backstory is false. Everything about him is false. His name is false. He's a figment. He's a fractured personality of B&W. I've come to kind of like see it for what it really is. The only people who are interested in Kaylee Inav are the P&W crew. And the P&W crew is in all probability a multiple fragments of one person's sick mind. And really, it's so simple when you break it down like that, where you stop taking whatever they have to say as gospel. It's when you realize whatever they say is a lie, that your mind sees it for what it is. And that's the bigger picture as well. Whatever politicians say is a lie. Whatever the mass media says is a lie. Whatever we are told by people in authority is a lie. And then it becomes simple. He has just posted about you on his panel. Wonderful. Because that's what these people do. They're mad as fuck. They are literally insane. Funny. So where were we? So looking forward to finishing the show so we can play Will Black, Christine, Dangerously Close. Fantastic music by Will Black. If you want to listen to some more fantastic music, check out willblack.net. Yes, Danny West thinks you are part of P&W. Well, and that is their tools of the trade, that inversion, that projection, that turning it back on you. And once you realize it, it's actually pathetic. It is pathetic. It's sad, it's futile, it's embarrassing. It's not worthy of anyone's attention. But yes, they'll carry on doing it because they don't know what else to do. They're like cornered rats. Rats caught in a corner. And they're building themselves up into their own frenzy. He is definitely mentally challenged. Absolutely. And living in that continuous state of dissociation is, identity disorder, dissociative identity disorder. And they see their lives as if it's a movie. They detach themselves from their actions. And that's the insanity behind what their conduct of what they do. It's as if they're watching themselves through another personality. I mean, ultimately, the only safe place for these individuals are in padded rooms. Him and his buddies non-stop of Kaylee is so exhausting to watch. It's just, and they don't get it, do they? Well, but that's the insanity again. I mean, they honestly think that what they're doing is important and worthwhile. But yet, to an intelligent mind, to a reasoned mind, it is non-stop harassment. And Danny West is the worst offender. But then again, everyone could be a figment of one person's mind. It is relentless. It is relentless. It's just merciless, relentless, non-stop. And quite frankly, he deserves to be in jail for what he done, and for what he continues to do. I mean, just these kind of comments, which were last week. I mean, new comments are on every day. it's just, I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. Yes, you stalking and harassment, definitely. These are the real criminals. And I feel for Kaylee, of course. But we all deal with this in our same way. I myself, you know, my military training has got me through this because it toughens you up. And you've got to be a tough guy to last on YouTube, because as Justin has already pointed out, YouTube is a dangerous place. And you've got to know what you're doing. You've got to be confident in yourself. And you've got to see through the bullshit, because a lot of it is bullshit. But hey, it's also a wonderful place because it brings people together. And I'm so excited to get Andrew Johnson on. Like I said, we're in the final phase of the negotiations. He's essentially agreed to come on and chat with me. It's just that what I need to do at my end is to cut out the riffraff. And I'm going to have to be kind of like absolutely merciless. No P&W allowed. Danny West has already gone. He's been wiped out. He's not welcome anymore. And RB, WH and Pitt are on notice. And it'll be worth it. Listen, I've always been a champion of free speech, giving people the digital space to praise, but also to denigrate. And I realised that isn't the best plan. Look what happened with Lenny. Poor Lenny has been run off because I allowed banter. I allowed, you know, a bit of banter. I allowed people to take a swipe at him. And some, you know, it can be argued YouTube isn't suited for the likes of Lenny because it can get so mean. But either way, I know Andrew Johnson is a veteran of social media. Like I said, he's I think he goes live himself on Facebook, and he's been a regular on Rich Planet TV. A good friend of Richard D. Hall. Over to Justin, who says the faceless fannies aren't welcome here. There you go. There you go. Yes, and they get off on the chaos. And listen, I've been accused of being naive, and I'll put my hand to it. I have been naive, believing that it's an honourable thing to do is to give these toe rags the same space and freedoms as anyone else. But it just doesn't work giving these toe rags the space and freedom that everybody else gets. Hello, Brian. Good to have you in the house. Good to see you. I hope, I know Brian will be looking forward to, I don't know actually. Well, I hope he will be. Having Andrew Johnson on. It's going to be great. Matt Taylor TV is here to educate, edify, and energize. I love it. I should get you down as my script writer. Yes, indeed. Nothing wrong with being naive, as nobody knows everything all the time. Yeah, there you go. But my fair dues, I mean, remember we used to have heated conversations. Your advice was to always block. And I used to go, no, it doesn't work. It don't work, Brian. I used to say, or words to that effect. It don't work, Brian, because they always come back under new names. And Brian should say, well, block them again. I was going, I can't be bothered. I'm lazy, Brian. I can't be bothered keep blocking people. Bloody hell. But Brian is right. Andrew Devine is right. Everyone who recommends blocking and moving on are right. I've come to that conclusion because when Andrew Johnson comes in, I cannot afford for him to look at the chat and see a load of dross because he won't be back. And I need to attract these individuals and make their experience pleasant enough that they'll agree to come back. It's repeat custom. When I was a businessman way back, repeat custom is integral to any business success for your customers to keep coming back and procuring your services. It's imperative. If you haven't got that repeat custom, you're not going to succeed in business. And that's the same principles apply on YouTube. Not only do I want the audience to keep coming back, I want my guests to keep coming back. Brian says, yes, block them. Give them no quarter, my liege. Well, I was 40 minutes late to the convo, so I'm behind on the day. Hey, listen. That's the beauty. You can always listen to it back. But yeah, there is something wonderful about having a live conversation. And so I understand Brian Hurl is on another channel talking about his experience. I'm looking forward to hearing that. I've got a lot to catch up with. I missed the march. The only thing I have caught was Tommy Robinson's speech. Oh, I saw a bit of that Dan Watton and Ant Middleton. Dan Watton was interviewing Ant Middleton by the side of the stage when Tommy Robinson was giving his speech. And I thought, guys, should you both stop interviewing and like listen to Tommy? I caught that today actually. Yes, I'm behind. I've been busy computing. Got to keep yourself busy. The march was huge. Yes, 1 million plus. Danny West is having a meltdown on his community post on his channel. Oh, how sad. What a sad individual. Let's have a look. 4 minutes ago. Stalking and harassment, ? No, it's all responses to your vile behaviour. That's your thing, girls. You got a fat bully who never passed phase 1 in basic confirmed. And a little pissant with no testicular fortitude. How do you know what I am posting, Samantha, if you're not stalking me? Game, set and match to Danny. Anyone know what a toe wag is? Oh my goodness gracious me. What a weirdo. What a weirdo. What a weirdo indeed. Now, there are some particularly insane people out there. And DW is one of them. That's for sure. Something I've been thinking about as well. When he says, it's fact that he's just been reacting to the abuse he alleges we give him. I mean, the thing about that is you have to be able to bring you evidence and prove that. It's the easiest thing in the world to say it, okay? But you have to be able to prove it. And I think there's a million miles from what the members of P&W say to what they can prove. I know, it's embarrassing. In over 1 million people, only a few were arrested, which is a great outcome even. I'm totally frazzled after. I've had a crazy weekend, by the way. Let's not talk too much about it. In over 1 million people, only a few were arrested, which is a great outcome for the Patriots, even less than a Notting Hill carnival. Yes. All right, you've actually reminded me, toe wag, of course. What is a toe wag? You reminded me of something, and I want to discuss this now before Andrew Johnson comes on. And bear in mind, we've got last 10 minutes. Tommy Robinson said the future is patriotism. And I thought, well, what is patriotism? You know, is patriotism the love of your country? What is the love of the country? What do you love about the country? Do you love the people, its history, its geography? So there's loads of questions in that. But patriotism for me is loving the country and loving the people and loving the values, loving its history, even though everyone denies King Arthur is real, which, you know, winds me up. So my only concern is, yeah, I'm all for the future is patriotism, but we need to agree what is the definition of patriotism. Now, if patriotism is the love of British values, great, I'm all for that. What are British values? For me, British values are freedom of speech, tolerance, diversity, multiculturalism. Because, of course, we have to be aware of our history, and that's a part of our identity. Our history is that we were a colonial great. The Commonwealth was founded because of our conquests around the world, bringing our values around the world to countries and cultures that otherwise may not have particularly wanted our values enforced upon them. But having said that, history is history. What's done is done. We did go around the world and we did enforce our values on other countries that may not have wanted them. That's evident in, of course, India, when they got their independence back, and America, of course. That's an illustration that we went, we conquered, and those conquered said, no thanks. We'd rather have it as it was before you lot came around. So the point I'm trying to make is, what is patriotism? Patriotism. I'm all for patriotism, but we need to agree on the definition of patriotism, because, and I heard this from what I did see, a lot of people marching on London would want. Okay, I'll rephrase it. I think it's not going to happen. Banning Islam from England. I think that's the start of civil war. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's unattainable to ban cultures that are already established in the UK. Yeah, you can't undo you can't do culturalism, the many cultures in the UK at the moment. You can't undo that. And so I think what makes England great is its multi cultures within it, because England was a colonial master in which we ruled the Commonwealth and still do. And so having a reflection of the Commonwealth within our country, I think is a good thing. Of course, patriotic in the sense that we better get control of our immigration, preventing dangerous individuals from coming into our country and committing crime is a good thing. And if that's the case, I'm all for patriotism. So yes, essentially, I'm behind Tommy Robinson and the fact that patriotism is the future. I get that, but for me, I need more reassurance as to what is the definition of patriotism. Because if I'm certainly never going to join a movement or back a movement that wants to get rid of different cultures within the UK. And I honestly think that's not what Tommy is saying anyway. So all in all, I think it was a great success. And Tommy has proven to be a powerhouse, an up and coming movement that surpasses both Labour and Conservatives. Over to Brian, who says, our reach and depth of our history are inventions to industry. Yes. You know, Britannia rules the world, ruled the waves. I mean, what I did catch before I went out to meet Lewis, there was this bloke, 26 years in prison. I think the AY auditor was going around talking. And this bloke, AI, you know, 26 years in prison, just come out, reformed bloke. He was talking. And then at some point, what he was saying was very intelligent and clever. And then at some point, he just came out and goes, and sod Muhammad because he's a pedo and they all need to get sent back. And that's when I switched off. Because, and that's another thing I wanted to get across. Bearing in mind, I've only got a few more minutes now, and we have got Will Black coming up. Putting 21st century standards on a figure from ancient history, i.e. Muhammad, who, I don't know, but, you know, he married a 13-year-old girl. I don't think that helps anyone, because back in the ancient history, the lifespan was about 25, for goodness sake. So a 13-year-old girl would have been middle-aged back in the day of Muhammad. So I think it's unfair and not very helpful to go around labelling a prophet of a major religion a pedo. That doesn't help culture. That doesn't help relations in any way, shape or form. Enforcing 21st century ideals on an ancient historical figure who married a 13-year-old. We have to understand what happened in ancient Persia stays in ancient Persia, and you can't enforce 21st century values on ancient Persian values. There are two different times, two different worlds, and that doesn't help anyone. And then to say send them all back, yes, send the illegal immigrants back, but let's not break up the cultures that have already been established in the UK. And we saw that happen under Theresa May when they started trying to deport all the Windrush intake. It's just impractical. Anyway, over to Brian. From a small London some 2,000 years ago to the London of today with 10 million is a staggering amount of reading history in itself. And that's just London. The entire nation has history worth seeing. You know, you bring the point up perfectly, because at school we're taught that history starts at 1066. And that's always blown my mind. What happened before 1066? Oh, England was just a wasteland full of barbarians. Yeah, can we tell any more about that? No. We're learning about 1066 onwards, the Normans, Plantagenets, Tudors, Yorks, and the rest. But yeah, absolutely. Well, yes, lucky to get 40 without a doctor, and app for a cardary to help back in history. Yes, indeed, Brian. We have lived longer than most of the kings in history. Yes. Lucky. Oh, right. Now I get you. Yes, lucky to get the 40 without a doctor. Yeah. And a puff. Oh, you've given me two harder words to try and read. I hope Andrew Johnson doesn't realise I'm a dummy. Oh, we have Harry. No, Matt. Mo married Ash, who was 6. Oh, was she? Oh, right. Thank you for the correction. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I stand corrected then. I stand corrected. Thank you, Harry. I stand corrected. I have to reappraise that. I thought it was 13. Well, we would know more if the Library of Alexandria was not burnt down. Hey, listen, on that note and on that correction, thank you, Harry. I appreciate that. It's time to end the show. We'll carry on the conversation tomorrow. I feel a bit silly. I should really get my facts straight before coming in and mouthing off. How old is Mary, the mother of Jesus? Yeah, 13 or 15 perhaps. There you go. But mind you, those angels were fornicating all around, weren't they? Listen, I'm going to play off with a fantastic track by Will Black. Until tomorrow, everyone, remember, just remember. Here we go. Thank you, everyone. I'll catch you again tomorrow. Well, you're very kind of you to say so. Yeah, great show, Matt. Danny West is still watching. Yeah, Danny West can go and do one as far as I'm concerned. He's not welcome. Game over. Thanks, Harry, for the correction. I'll have to reappraise that. Feel a white twit getting rid of getting that wrong. Thank you, Brian, for jumping in. I'll play out with Christine, Dangerously Close by Will Black. To check out more from Will Black, go to willblack.com. I'll catch you all again soon. Bye for now.
Saying that you owe me, but you honor your wedding band. All the time and space we could command. Christine, dangerously close. Desire will not lead you home. Oh, Christine, now you're dangerous. the fire, the hell that I know.